911, what's the nature of your emergency?
He was already bad, not need one. Yeah, that's 4, I'll get a 28 from one truck when you're ready. From one truck, Boyd Lincoln X-ray 985, should come back up then.
On July 15th, 2017, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Justine Ruszczyk calls 911 at 11:27 p.m. to report a possible assault going on behind her home. The dispatcher tells her police are headed to her Fulton neighborhood and to call back if anything changes.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
Hi. I can hear someone out the back, and I'm not sure if she's having sex or being...
Give me the address.
Washburn Avenue South.
Washburn Avenue South. Okay, you said it's behind...
And there's a lane out the back. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And I think she just yelled out help. But it's difficult. The sound has been going on for a little while, but I don't think she's enjoying it. I think it's... I don't know.
Okay, well, I've already got a call started and help on the way. You can't see anything. You're just hearing a female screaming then? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. It sounds like sex noises, but it's been going on for a while, and I think I just heard help, and it sounds distressed.
Okay, I've already got an officer on the way. What is your name?
Justine?
Justine. What's your last name?
Justine.
Justine.
Yeah.
And the phone number?
612.
Okay, we've already got help on the way. If anything changes before we get there, just give us a call right back, but officers should be there soon.
Thanks.
Okay, not a problem.
Ruszczyk makes a second call to 911 8 minutes after the first, asking where the police are and whether they might have gotten the wrong address, but the dispatcher assures her the police are on their way.
911, what is the address of the emergency?
Hi, I just reported one, but no one's here. I was wondering if they got the
What's the address?
address wrong for Washburn Avenue South. It's supposed to be Washburn Avenue South.
You Justine?
Yeah.
You're hearing a female
In the-
screaming?
Yes, the lane behind the house.
Yep, officers are on the way there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
About 14 minutes after the second call, Ruszczyk would be shot and killed by one of the arriving officers. Minneapolis police officers who rushed to a residential alley in response to a call of shots fired were confused by the situation they found when they arrived on scene. They find the officers who first arrived at Ruszczyk's home, Mohammed Noor, and his partner, Matthew Harity, in an alley performing CPR on Ruszczyk. Neither Noor or his partner activated their body camera in time to capture the shooting, but the footage from the night of July 15th that was captured from other body cameras show puzzled officers trying to piece together what happened.
31 down, 30 yards.
He heard shots fired, one down.
Did they shoot? Who shot? 530, they're on roll, suspects at large.
Copy 530, no suspects at large.
What the hell's going on?
I have no fucking clue, but she's gone. Okay. I have no idea.
Suicide? Who's this?
At first I thought maybe he shot somebody.
He did.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh.
So
he hit the person?
in the stomach.
Really?
I think she's, I don't know what the deal
Shut
is.
up.
Yeah.
All right, kiddo? You all right?
Yeah.
Just keep your mouth shut, so you have to say anything to anybody. Hop in. Just hop in and tell a ringer. I'm going off.
Throughout the videos, officers repeatedly shut off their body cameras at the scene when they realized one of their own was involved in the shooting. This even included Sergeant Shannon Barnett, Noor's supervisor, who took charge of the crime scene.
What do we got?
Copy 502 on scene.
I have no idea what happened. We just pulled up. Parody.
What's going on?
We had that, the call over here. Someone was screaming in the back. We pulled up here. We were about ready to just clear and go to another call. She just came up out of nowhere on the side of the thing, and we both got spooked. I had my gun out. I didn't fire, and then Nor pulled out and fired.
Where is he?
He's in the back of this rock.
Where is he? Where is he, Matt?
Right here, man. Matt, give me that. You do something else.
Hold on a sec. Where is Noor?
He's with Ringenberg.
Okay.
Oh, you moved him? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, you
Where do you mean?
move him. Yeah.
We've got somebody in there. Oh, okay.
Matt, just go to the end of the block.
Hang on. Let me shut this, Matt.
Hold on, Matt.
You gonna need somebody with him or not?
Yes. You Jesse, go with him. Put him in my car. Just sit with him in my car. Here.
I'm gonna leave this with you. Yours doesn't take a regular?
No. Does Fahey have? Who has Noor?
Ringard Road.
Where?
In 510, right down here.
Okay, Matt, go with Jesse in my car. I need this whole area.
Okay.
Do we know where there's a casing? All right, I want you guys. I'm telling you, I want tape across all that, all the alley. I want that blocked as well. I don't want anyone walking down here. Yes.
At one point, Sergeant Barnett talks with Noor, but her body cam only records video and not audio. She said this was because it was a private conversation, and she later testified at trial that this conversation had nothing to do with what took place during the shooting. It took hours before officers even realized Ruszczyk was the woman who initially called 911 to report the assault. Sergeant Barnett had even called her and left a voicemail while at the crime scene.
Hey, Justine, this is Sergeant Barnett, Minneapolis Police. Say, I know you called in on a unknown trouble call of a woman screaming, and I have a question for you, and it's pretty important. If you could call me back as soon as you get this, please.
33-year-old Somali-American Mohammed Noor was charged on March 20th, 2018 with second and third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter in the killing of Ruszczyk. His trial began on April 9th, 2019, with more than 3 weeks of testimony from several witnesses, including neighbors of Ruszczyk, use of force experts, Noor's patrol partner, and Noor himself, among many others. Noor told jurors that he and his partner were driving down the alley in a police SUV when they say they were startled by a loud bang on the vehicle. Noor testified at his trial that he fired to protect himself and his partner from a perceived threat after he saw his partner's terrified reaction and saw a woman appear at the driver's side window, raising her right arm. The bullet was fired from the passenger seat through the driver's side window, hitting Ruszczyk in the abdomen. Prosecutor Patrick Lofton said in his opening statement that Noor's partner did not describe any noise while at the scene and only mentioned it for the first time days later to investigators. There was also no forensic evidence that shows Ruszczyk touched the squad car before she was shot, raising questions about whether she really did hit or slap the SUV. Then, defense attorneys called 2 surprise witnesses who testified that they heard noises that night, potentially corroborating Noor and Harity's testimony that they were startled by a loud sound that made them fear for their lives. One of the witnesses, whose backyard overlooks where Ruszczyk was shot, said she remembered hearing 3 loud booms. When the trial concluded, a jury deliberated for about 11 hours, then came back with their verdict, acquitting Noor of the most serious count of second-degree murder, but convicting him of third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter. Noor was sentenced on June 7, 2019 to 12.5 years in prison, becoming the first officer convicted in Minnesota for an on-duty shooting death. The conviction prompted questions about race, with some people relieved that a conviction meant moving towards a reform of the criminal justice system long perceived of shielding police officers from prosecution. But to others, the conviction was considered that the odds remained stacked against people of color. Conversations began to emerge, asking the question whether Noor would have been charged if he were white and Ruszczyk were black. Jurors in Noor's case were questioned about their views towards Somalis before being selected, and half of the 12 jurors were people of color, including immigrants. Ruszczyk's family filed a lawsuit in July of 2018 asking for $50 million, claiming unreasonable use of deadly force, improper training, and a conspiracy to cover up the shooting on the part of Noor and his fellow officers when they turned their body-worn cameras on and off throughout the incident. 3 days after Noor was convicted, Minneapolis agreed to pay the family of Justine Ruszczyk $20 million. Of that, under terms of the settlement, $2 million was to be donated to the Fund for Safe Communities at the Minneapolis Foundation to reduce gun violence in Ruszczyk's name. She was 40 years old, an Australian American, and had received a veterinary degree from the University of Sydney in 2002, but decided to pursue personal health as a career path instead. She became a life coach and taught meditation classes. Her family says she was an animal lover and yearned to help people. A neighbor captured a video of Ruszczyk rescuing ducklings from a storm drain 3 weeks before her death.
What I'd like you to do when I come out is just hop down because there is a...
Wait, should I put them in here in this bag?
I've got them in my skirt.
Yep. What would you like
And
me
I'm
to
just going to go with the mum either up here or straight to the lake.
All right.
Is this your house?
Yeah.
Does she have a nest here?
No, not that I know of.
What would you like me to do?
I don't know why she
Get in
was
and see if
here.
you can hear any peeping in case one's wandered down
All right.
into the...
With your hands? Come on, come on, come on. Over here, over here. Like she doesn't,
Probably need best.
she doesn't seem to want to be like beelining it back to the...
How many is there? 1, 2, 3. Oh my god, I can't count. Should be 8, right?
How did you go? Were there any... Did you hear any peeping?
No, I'll hear them.
Ruszczyk was set to be married just 1 month after the shooting took place. Mohammed Noor is currently incarcerated and was being held in Minnesota's only Level 5 maximum security prison, but has since been moved to another state due to safety reasons. The new location of Noor's incarceration cannot be disclosed and remains unknown. On October 3, 2019, in Enid, Oklahoma, a man calls 911 with an unusual story. 79-year-old Brent Parks and his caretaker, 44-year-old Tina Springer, were headed to Parks' brother's house in a pickup truck, but stopped at a railroad crossing to wait for a train to pass. Parks' 7-month-old yellow lab was sitting in the back seat of the truck, but when the train passed, the lab got spooked and jumped up front, causing the loaded .22 caliber gun located in the center console to fire a round. The bullet hit Tina, who was in the passenger seat, in the left thigh, and she can be heard complaining in the background throughout the 911 call. When Parks told the dispatcher that Tina was bleeding badly, the dispatcher instructed him to use a makeshift tourniquet. Parks then took off his belt and tied it above the wound to try to stop the bleeding.
Hello. Yeah. This 911.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
Are you on that? God dang it. What?
I'm passing out, but...
Just wait. Are you?
Hi.
I need 911. I need some help.
This is 911. Where are you at?
We're down here at this railroad track.
Okay, on 10th Street?
Is it 10th Street?
You're just north of the railroad tracks?
Yes, 10th Street. On the north side, 10th Street.
Okay.
She's bleeding pretty bad.
What happened?
And we're right just down here at the track.
What happened?
Well, a gun went off.
She shot herself?
Got her in the leg.
She shot herself?
No, she didn't do it herself.
Who shot her?
Well, it just went off. Had a dog in it.
Okay, hold on.
We had a dog in here and he stepped on the gun.
Hold on, I'm going to transfer over to life. Don't hang up the phone. I don't feel good.
Well, just wait a little bit there. They'll be here in a minute.
Nobody's going to help me.
Emergency ambulance. What's the address?
I don't feel good. I don't feel good. 1600 North 10th Street for a medical emergency. In Grass Rig 2, respond with life.
Have you got an ambulance coming?
Ambulance is on the line, sir. Can you speak to her about the gunshot wound and tell her where it's at?
Okay, we're down here at this railroad crossing on 10th Street.
This will be at 1600 North 10th Street. It's going to be for a female gunshot wound, unknown location.
Is the gun?
Sir, can you hear life?
Do what now?
Where is she shot at, sir?
In the leg, above the knee.
In the leg?
In the leg, but she's bleeding pretty bad.
Where's the gun?
It's in my pickup.
Where is she?
She's in my pickup, waiting on
I
an
need
ambulance.
you to put the gun someplace where it can be safe.
It's safe. It's safe, but the dog went and stepped on it and it went off.
The dog shot her?
Yeah. He stepped on it and it went off. But anyway, just get an ambulance out here.
Sir, can you speak to the ambulance?
I need to know how old she is.
Dying.
How old is she?
How old are you?
44.
34. 44. 44 years old.
I gotta lay down.
Is she gonna have?
I gotta lay down. Hey, let me lay down.
Okay, when did this happen?
Just another 30 minutes ago, too. But she's bleeding pretty bad.
Okay, is she completely alert?
Well, she's alert, but she's she's losing blood bad.
Okay, you said her leg was injured?
Her leg is injured, yeah. Got a gunshot to it.
Okay, is there more than one wound?
No, just one wound.
Can I have a broken pelvis where they need me to get me back?
To help you now. Stay on the line and I'll tell you exactly what to do next.
Help me.
Hey.
Do you have something you can tie around her leg?
It's so hard.
Well, I'm trying to find something to wrap around her leg, but she's screaming and all this shit. I can't tie nothing around her leg. Can't get to anything to tie around her leg.
Okay, do you have a clean, dry cloth?
If I had a clean, dry cloth, it'd already been on there, ma'am. But, let me see. Sometimes I can take my belt off maybe and wrap around the head of it.
Okay, do that.
But I can't find any of my
Are you wearing a belt?
ready. I've got a belt on, yeah.
Then take it off and tie it around her leg, please.
Above it?
Above the wound.
All right. Take my belt off and put it around her leg above the wound.
Whatever.
And that's what she said to do. That's the stupidest goddamn thing I ever heard about for now. Oh, they just took it straight on in myself. But when they found it, they were just about to get it up around it. Yeah, through the belt.
Okay, tell me when the tourniquet's applied.
Am I above it? Huh? That above it?
Yeah.
Let me get that work and get it.
Yeah, do it, Brent.
Oh, Molly, you're the one that pulled that trigger. Don't give me no shit. I'm sorry. She's gonna check and he's checking. Yeah, God damn it.
Stop!
Can you raise yourself up a little bit? Here, I got you. Come on, I got you.
I don't feel good.
Well, you wouldn't, but it's not. You're in a life-death situation.
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's pretty tight, ain't it?
Yep. Okay, have you got the tourniquet on?
Maybe.
Springer was transported from the scene by ambulance to St. Mary's Regional Medical Center for treatment and has since recovered. Police said cloth from the seat covers also could have gotten into the trigger well of the gun, causing it to discharge. A burn mark under the center console on the passenger side was consistent with Parks' account that it was an accidental discharge and foul play is not suspected. Parks said the gun isn't usually loaded, prompting Enid Police Sergeant Robert Norton to emphasize to the public the importance of properly securing firearms whenever they're being transported. Parks says he will refrain from bringing his lab, Molly, around trains anymore. On April 19, 2013, in Stafford County, Virginia, a man called 911 to report he had shot his wife after she attacked him with a knife. Unfortunately, the call was made on a VoIP line, which allows you to make phone calls through your internet connection instead of a regular phone line, which caused a delay in response time. The call was routed to a dispatcher in a county in New Mexico, confusing both the man and the dispatcher. He then called 911 on his cell phone and connected with a dispatcher in his area who sent law enforcement and EMS units. The man, Art Gonzales, and his wife, Julie, had separated 6 months earlier after Gonzales filed for divorce. He said on the day of the shooting, he had taken off work and had lunch with a friend, then went home. To his surprise, Julie was there, saying she had stopped by the house to pick up clothes. Gonzales stated that when he and Julie were standing in the kitchen, a conversation started about their divorce, where he proceeded to tell her he didn't love her anymore. Then Julie launched at him with a knife. Gonzales tried to push her away, but she came at him again, so he fired 4 shots, hitting her in the chest with every bullet.
What city?
Hey, can you get an ambulance and a deputy over to 59 Alderwood Drive?
59 what?
Alderwood, A-L-D-E-R-W-O-O-D. She just attacked me with a knife and I had to shoot her.
Okay. I need the...
Please?
Okay, I have help on the way. You said 59 Elder Street?
Alderwood, A-L-D-E-R-W-O-O-D.
Okay, stay on the line with me. Is she breathing?
I don't know. Hang on a second. Are you okay?
And that's Alba Road?
Alderwood, A-L-D-E-R-W-O-O-D. Hurry.
Okay, I can't. You're speaking to that A-L-B?
A-L-D, D as in E-R-W-O-D.
Okay, Adam Lincoln, boy?
Delta, E-R, Wood. Julie.
Okay, are you in Las Cruces, Doniana?
No, man, Stafford, Stafford, Virginia.
Okay, this is for Las Cruces, New Mexico.
I'm sorry.
Are you located in Las Cruces, New Mexico?
I'm in Virginia.
You're in Virginia?
Yeah.
Okay, I need you to stay on the line with me.
I'm calling 911 on my cell phone as well.
Give me one moment, okay? I have help on the way. Give me 1 second.
Thank you. I need someone. Can you send a deputy and an ambulance to 59 Alderwood Drive? My wife just attacked me with a knife and I had to shoot her. Alderwood, A-L-D-E-R-W-O-D.
Okay.
Hurry, I don't think she's breathing.
Stay on the line with me, okay?
A-L-D-E-R, A-alpha-L-D.
I have help on the way.
Alderwood, A-L-D-E-R-W-O-D.
Okay, sir, I hear you, but I need you to stay on the line with
59.
Okay, sir, can you hear me?
I'm talking.
Sir. Hello?
Where's your gun at?
I'm sorry?
Where is the gun?
It's on my holster. I'm an FBI agent. Please hurry.
And you're an FBI agent?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, where's your weapon at right now? I need it secure.
It's on my holster.
Okay, can you secure your weapon?
Yes. What do you mean?
Can you put it somewhere? I've already got help on the way. Fire, police, and rescue.
I'll put it right on the counter. Okay.
Absolutely. And then I want you to go. Is anybody in the house?
No, just me.
It's just you and your wife.
Yes.
Okay. And she attacked you with a knife first?
Yes.
Okay. Can you go get?
You got me in the arm. Huh?
Okay. I'm gonna get you over there with her. Okay. I want you to get her on the floor flat, and we're gonna. Okay. Tell me if she's breathing.
It doesn't look like she is.
Not breathing? Okay, can you get her flat on the floor? And I'm going to start CPR instructions with you, okay?
Okay.
Gonzales was an FBI special agent, and investigators were suspicious of his story from the start, but didn't immediately jump to any conclusions. Gonzales and Julie married in 1995 and had 2 sons. She was a teller at a local bank at the time of her death. After the separation, she had given Gonzales custody of their 2 sons while the divorce was slowly being processed. Gonzales brought up how his wife had developed a drinking problem, and apparently she was so unstable that she'd almost attacked him with a knife once before. But co-workers of Julie were leery of Gonzales, saying he wasn't friendly, that he would belittle her in front of their children, and how he kept her on a very tight rein, even monitoring the hours she worked. He would call her throughout her shift, and when she didn't answer, he would repeatedly call her coworkers, asking where she was. He would also show up at her work as many as 4 times a day, leaving Julie's coworkers to wonder how he had so much time to show up with the job that he worked. Gonzales became an FBI agent in Texas before rising to supervisor in Las Cruces, New Mexico in 2005. Then in 2010, the family moved to Stafford, Virginia after he received a promotion. Gonzales said the marriage ended because of Julie's drinking problems, but when investigators searched his home, they found women's underwear and some mail in his bedroom. When detectives asked who the woman was, Gonzales said he and Cast were just good friends. But further into the investigation, a photo on his cell phone of Cast in bed was taken just a few days before he shot Julie. It turned out Cast was also an FBI employee. In March of 2014, 1 year after Gonzales shot and killed his estranged wife, the 18-year FBI veteran found himself on trial for her murder. After 8 days of testimony, the jury struggled through almost 26 hours of deliberation. It was 10 votes to acquit and only 2 to convict, but prosecutors would not give up. 10 months later, the Commonwealth of Virginia tried Gonzales a second time with a new jury but the same judge, changing the charge to manslaughter, hoping the jury would be more inclined to convict. During the trial, the forensic evidence showed there was gunshot residue on both Gonzales's hands and on Julie's hands, and also on the knife. Once again, the jurors announced that they too were deadlocked. The vote was again 10-2, but this time it was 10 to convict. There would then be a third trial with no chance of a hung jury because this time both sides agreed to a bench trial where there is no jury, only a judge to decide Gonzales's fate. The judge stated she didn't believe Gonzales's story that he tried to resuscitate Julie after he shot her, but then said, quote, "The gunpowder residue is consistent with the defendant's version of the victim holding a knife as he fired the weapon. There's no other explanation as to how she could have gotten gunpowder residue on her hands," unquote. Accepting that Gonzales's story could be true, she announces her verdict. She found Gonzales not guilty of the crime of manslaughter. Prosecutors were devastated, and Julie's family gasped when they heard the verdict. Gonzales has since been fired from the FBI for lack of candor by attempting to spin his answers to investigators' questions to portray himself in the best possible light. This is seen as being evasive, therefore violating the standard of conduct the FBI expects you to uphold. Julie's parents rarely see their grandchildren anymore and remember Julie as the kind, gentle woman who got along with everyone. Her family used to believe Gonzales would be held accountable for Julie's death, but now will forever believe he got away with murder. On January 17, 2018, in Charleston County, South Carolina, 24-year-old Quadarrel Morton calls 911 after shooting someone during a confrontation over a stolen vehicle. The previous night, Morton's Hyundai Sonata was stolen after he left it running with the keys inside while he went inside a convenience store located 2 miles away from his girlfriend's house. The next day, Morton and his girlfriend were preparing to leave her home around 7:30 a.m. when a family member spotted their stolen car parked down the street in a cul-de-sac. According to police, Morton then used the car's keyless entry remote to activate the car's horn, confirming it was their car. The person inside the vehicle was 15-year-old Derek Grant.
Yes, sir. What's your name?
Quadarrel Morton.
Okay, Quadarrel, tell me what happened.
Last night, our car was stolen at Rivers Quick Mart. I called and made a police report. This morning when I wake up, we was about to take my mother-in-law to work and use her car so we could file a police report and get insurance information. My brother-in-law came outside. He said, "Yo, I think this is y'all car in the cul-de-sac." I came outside. Once I saw that the car, I saw an individual went inside the car with the key in his hand. I said, "Stop." I said, "Look, that's my car. What are you doing in my car?" He reached for something. I fired once. And with that fire once, I saw him reach again. I fired one more time. I came inside the car. No, ma'am. I shot once, by the car, and I shot once again. If he kept reaching, the first one that hit, I said, "Stop. I'm going to shoot again."
Okay, so where's the person you shot now?
He's in the front seat, the driver's seat of the car.
Okay, and where's the gun now?
I have it disassembled on the front porch, waiting for the officers to arrive.
Okay.
Morton said he shot Grant after he wouldn't stop reaching inside of the car. When officers approached the vehicle, they found the 15-year-old's body behind the wheel. The driver's door was open and his feet dangled outside of the car. According to an incident report, the car had bullet holes in the driver's window and door frame. Authorities later said there was no weapon found on or near Grant. Morton told dispatchers that after the shooting, he disassembled the gun and put it on the porch to wait for officers. He started to explain to police what had happened, but then stopped telling his story after an officer read him his Miranda right to remain silent. Morton has no serious criminal history, and his only conviction stemmed from an arrest in July on a misdemeanor charge of disorderly conduct. He and several other witnesses were taken in and questioned by detectives, and by January 29th, the spokesman for South Carolina announced Morton would not face charges for Grant's death. Police said, quote, "The death of Derek Grant is a tragedy for his family and for this community. We have determined that this incident, however tragic, is not reasonably prosecutable under the law," unquote. According to the Protection of Persons and Property Act, also known as the Stand Your Ground Law, you may use deadly force if you reasonably fear an imminent threat of serious injury. Due to Morton seeing Grant reach in the car, presumably for a weapon, Morton felt his life was threatened and opened fire. None of the witnesses at the scene that gave statements saw the entire incident, so the police were only left with Morton's word of what happened. Grant's family is struggling with their loss, trying to grasp why Morton didn't call the police first and wait for them to arrive before engaging with Grant, and they feel they may never know what truly happened. On Sunday, July 28, 2019, the Gilroy Garlic Festival in California was nearing its third and final day when 19-year-old Santino William Ligon cut through a fence to get into the festival, took out his SKS AR-style rifle, and began to open fire randomly on the festival goers. The Gilroy Garlic Festival is one of the largest food festivals in the United States, attracting over 80,000 people every year. 911 calls were made by several people, including one woman only known as Kim, who said she's a nurse and was tending to a 26-year-old man shot in the leg and hip. She told the dispatcher she had used an apron as a makeshift tourniquet. The dispatcher tries to keep her focused, but Kim is too distraught to stay calm, continuously asking for ambulances, and at one point began to hyperventilate. Dispatch audio described Ligon as a white man in his 20s wearing a camouflage hat or bandana, a camouflage top, and firing a long rifle with a removable magazine.
No. Okay. We have everyone headed out there, okay? Do not hang up. It's his leg. He got grazed by a bullet in a couple of spots.
Paramedic emergency. What's the address of the emergency?
CHP with the transfer on the line. She's Miller at Union Park, and she's with a man who has been shot.
Okay, ma'am?
Yes, hi.
Ma'am? Okay, what's your name? Okay, we've got everybody on the way, okay? They're all on their way to you, okay?
Yeah. We just
okay.
need to get...
Absolutely. They're going to go help them, okay? All right, what's the phone number you're calling me from? Okay. All right. And all right.
Her family's okay, but he got shot.
Okay, I understand that. How many people are hurt?
I only currently see one. He ran out. The shootings were very far away, and he just ran. But he left his family. It was right at the tent by where he was, and he got out faster than we did, and we ran.
All right. Okay, no problem.
I don't know.
Okay, we've got help coming for him. How old is he?
26.
Okay. All right. And is he awake?
Grazed in the right. He's awake, alert, oriented. I'm a nurse. He got grazed in the right hip, and his gunshot wounds to the right leg.
Okay.
We put a tourniquet as best we could with an apron, and we applied.
Okay, hang on. Slow down. Okay, slow down. All right. Is the assailant still nearby?
I'm sorry. Yeah, he's right here.
Okay. No, is the attacker?
They're taking down. They're taking the white truck. We need an ambulance fast.
We understand. Okay, we understand. We have somebody going to that specific location where you are.
People down.
Listen to me.
The cops, you need ambulances.
We have everyone on the way. The ambulances are on the way.
Getting on a golf cart. This guy's getting on a golf cart. We need ambulances for this house. They're victims. No, take them.
Are you speaking to the police?
No, they're saying the ambulances are on the way. Ruben, let's get out of the fucking way. Let's get out. Let's get out of the way.
Okay. Okay. I just
body out. They just carried a body out.
Okay, where are they taking it?
They're doing CPR on the body.
Okay, I understand. We've got the ambulances coming, okay? We have them coming.
They're doing CPR.
Okay, that's good. They're trying to help them. So this guy that you're with, is there any serious bleeding?
Just doing CPR on her. I'm leaving the scene.
Okay, we're sending everybody now, okay?
Okay.
All right? Everyone's on the way. They're on the way, okay? Just stay calm so you can help them.
I'm going home. Thank you. Thank you.
I know. Just stay in a safe spot, okay? Stay in a safe spot.
I'm ready. Thank you.
Okay, just take a deep breath, okay?
Ligon fired 39 times, killing 3 people and wounding 17 others. He killed himself during a shootout with 3 police officers who confronted him less than a minute after the gunfire began. Police fired 18 rounds, some of which struck Ligon multiple times, but he was wearing a bulletproof vest. The 3 victims who were killed were 6-year-old Stephen Romero, 13-year-old Kayla Salazar, and 25-year-old Trevor Irby. 6-year-old Stephen Romero was at the annual food festival with his mother and grandmother, who were both hospitalized. His mom was struck by 2 bullets, one in her hand and one in her stomach. Stephen was shot in his mother's arms, and the family believed the mother and her son were struck by the same bullet as she clutched him to her chest. Stephen's other grandmother said she was at home when she got the call from someone who said her grandson was shot. She went from hospital to hospital looking for him, but when she finally got to the right one, she said she was told he had already passed away. Stephen's father said the enthusiastic 6-year-old had just graduated from kindergarten and would talk to anyone who would listen about how excited he was to start first grade in the fall. 13-year-old Kayla Salazar would have celebrated her 14th birthday 1 week after the shooting. A few of the words from her family and friends used to describe her are strong, smart, beautiful, and vibrant. Family members said Kayla was the first to stand up when she heard gunfire, then she turned to look for her family, and that's when she was shot. Kayla was described by many as sunshine. She was a young woman who family said spent the morning of the shooting cleaning and completing chores to convince her parents to buy her a puppy. Kayla was kind, loving, and open-hearted, and wanted to be an animation artist when she grew up. 25-year-old Trevor Irby was described by his father as his best friend and a perfect son. Trevor's brother died 25 years ago, and his grandfather died 1 month before the shooting. According to his parents, Trevor had many dreams, including to become a father one day. His girlfriend Sarah, who he considered his fiancée, was with him during the shooting and was able to escape. His family wants him to be remembered as the kindest person you'll ever find, with friends also saying he was a kind and positive soul. Trevor was brought back to New York, where his family lives, and buried next to his brother and grandfather.
Angels come, they stay a short while, do their job, go home. Because now they're together. It's been 25 years since my first son died. Now my son at 25 is gone.
All of the families of the victims are angry, heartbroken, and devastated at the senseless and tragic loss of their young family members' lives. Those who received gunshot wounds and other injuries, ranging in age from 12 to 69, were taken to 2 different hospitals following the shooting. After obtaining a search warrant, police searched Santino Ligon's car, which was parked near the festival grounds. They found a clown mask, a wilderness survival guide, a first aid kit, an open bottle of whiskey, and a passport, among many other items. Those who knew Ligon said his family was friendly and quiet, and neighbors had no suspicion he was the mass shooter until police came knocking on their door. Several Instagram posts were made on Ligon's profile before the shooting, one of him even at the Garlic Festival complaining about overpriced items, and 2 other suspicious captions mentioning a book popular among white supremacists. Still, investigators say they are searching for a motive and are investigating the shooting as a domestic terrorism attack. Community members gathered the day after the shooting next to Gilroy's library to honor the victims. People left mementos at a makeshift memorial outside the site of the Garlic Festival. The city continues to mourn the loss of the victims and are still upset and confused at how this could happen in their community. You can find the GoFundMe links for the 3 victims killed in the shooting in the description down below.